Well guys, I have a few flower designs and the flowers inside them, the leaves inside them. Now, the flower, not much more. It has a set of principles that I have to explain to you how each one is, and you'll know how it is. And then I'll tell you what points we should observe right from the beginning regarding the overall form of the flower. Now the flower is everything. We never draw the flower itself first, if it's our flower, and then we come, for example, to place the leaves on it. We don't do that. What do we do now with the dimensions, or now whatever it is? These leaves come in a series on the flower, so it takes it. You don't complete the flower's outline, we draw it with a pencil, and I have a big leaf now that I'm going to draw. The point is that this leaf, if I drew it here now, I'm not going to come right in the middle of it. I'll put it here because it's going into perspective. You're looking at it from the angle in front of you. You're not looking at it from above. If we look from above, we usually see the flower in a circular shape where now these leaves have come like this, next to each other, for example. It's correct. Now this leaf that I'm seeing, the center line's off to the side, not dead center. And there's another thing to note. I mentioned we'll add the pot last. Now I'll draw another leaf here. You should draw it exactly as I have. Gradually, as your eyes adjust to seeing flowers and leaves, you'll notice how the leaves in your houseplants look. Your mind's being trained. There's also stems. Finally, this flower from my current angle sits behind the pot, but if you're viewing it from an angle like you are now, you'd see the pot's soil. So here's the flower. The stem part in the soil shouldn't touch the pot. That's key to remember. If you recall, in our first session, we practiced some leaf shapes together. I'll now draw another of those leaf shapes here in the middle, like a single leaf. It's just a small leaf, and I'll draw it with a middle line. The line curves upward, showing the angle you see less of. If this is your leaf, don't draw it flat. Instead, curve the middle line up. What I understand from the shape is that part of the leaf is folded and raised. This is our main leaf, and we're seeing the folded part, you see? So we draw the middle line curving upward because you're viewing it from the front. The part closer to you looks bigger, while the part farther away looks smaller, right? The other leaves follow the same pattern. I'll draw them, pointing out any key details. Try to keep the structure exactly like this. Now that I've drawn these lower leaves, I want to move on to drawing the flower's shape. This line behind the flower, the curve you see, isn't straight. It's 3D, not flat. I'll draw it like this, then shape it. The bottom should align with the top part. Now, for the base, try this. The angles and curves should be consistent. Don't make one bulge more or be straighter than others. Pay attention, guys. That's our first base. Now let's move to the second one. I've drawn a simple outline for it. I'm not adding volume yet, just drawing the flower itself up to here. There's a border around it, usually seen from the vase's edge. Don't just draw straight lines. Add volume for a fancier, more natural cartoon look. For this part where leaves would be, imagine something like cattails or grass. When the cat's tail comes out, I consider this part as its litter box. You can see the inside of the pot here. Be careful with the flowers. If you're pulling these leaves, they might overlap. Some come out from behind others, so we need to be careful. Pay attention to how you arrange the leaves. If I put this one in front, the back leaf goes behind it. I want to place this one behind the others. I'll separate it from the side. This part goes here too. The folded part of the sheet isn't visible now. The rest is clear. It's not hard. Notice the middle. The closer part looks bigger, the further part smaller. Another point. The middle flower is like a pitose with ivy-like curls. When drawing these, don't start with the leaf. Draw the top leaves first. Remember, we're using a tool that can't erase, like in our first session. We try to draw all the curly leaves first, then we draw the stems. That's right. This is behind that one. This part looks a bit twisted. Behind the stem. Now let's pull the spiral into the pot. Try to maintain this thickness we are pulling for the spiral as far as it stretches to the end of the spiral. Its raw material should be reduced. These are the things that dangle from it, the leaves that dangle from it. And now pay attention to the main leaf itself. You should be mindful of that hierarchy and significance once again, meaning we place a leaf as the first and second leaves, just like the tree we drew, based on the center, and try to ensure the rest of the leaves have proportionality with these. So you can practice that part of the first session, which was about the form of the leaves, their various shapes in perspective, because it's very beneficial for you. The more you try to alter the shape of the leaves and draw them differently, the more natural and appealing your work will appear. From now on, we will draw the part of the flower, as we mentioned. This is its boundary line it has, and the end of your flower. Guys, for this fourth pot, it's similar to this lower pot, the rule being that I drew this pot entirely at eye level, so you don't see this part of the soil in the pot anymore right next to the pot. These leaves start. Now this order can be simply drawn. If it's difficult for you to draw the shape of the leaf in this simple manner at first, I won't be too strict until you get the original form of the leaves and their arrangement. Let me draw this part over the vase like this, and then we'll draw the rest of it. Try to draw the vase last. If you're making changes, don't restrict yourself unless you're using a pencil and can erase it. For this vase now, the shape isn't crucial. My hand's dirty, but that's not important. You can draw it any shape you like, but here I've added a few scallops because I want the shape to be a bit different from the other vases we've drawn. We need to consider this too. As we said, what we do is separate this part from the vase's soil and draw some lines from here to show, for example, where the stems come out of the soil. The stem, of course, is thicker at the bottom and gets thinner towards the top. We'll draw a few separate ones symbolically. See, I'm drawing all the way to the top as a guide, so I know where to draw the leaves. I've sketched it in pencil, but when I ink it later, these parts will be removed, making it much easier for me to progress. I'll draw the leaf on top as it overlaps the others. It should be the first leaf, following the rule we discussed. Closer objects appear larger, farther ones smaller. Then I'll work on the bottom leaf, applying what we've practiced. Remember, order and convergence are key. Try to align everything with the first two stems. Don't randomly place leaves here. It doesn't make sense for them to be positioned there. I'll draw this one and separate it from the rest. Let's attach this stem we have to the pot. For this one, we'll do the same. It'll go on the pot and connect to the stem I drew earlier. Now I'll draw a line inside. Next, I'll sketch the pot itself. This is the rim and here's the base. As I mentioned earlier about the golden error, you need to be careful that the curved lines you're drawing are parallel to each other. Keep in mind that these lines should be parallel. For example, if you're drawing a flower, don't make the petals uneven. Draw them consistently, whether you're making them larger or keeping them straight. Remember, they should all align in the same direction. For this vase at the top of the image, the vase is ordinary, meaning there's nothing special or unique about it. As for the leaves, just like in other vases, we usually see a type of leaf at first glance. To make it look more natural, we first place a leaf like this. This becomes the first leaf we want to draw, followed by the rest of the leaves like this. We position the leaf in a way that covers the area where the stems might be, so there's no need to draw the stems. I'll just draw this leaf from here in this form. It's all about practice and repetition. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to capture the form of these leaves. Pay attention to the vases you see at home, outside or on trees. Observing the leaves on trees will broaden your perspective and allow you to accurately draw their overall appearance. This is another one of our moon vases that we've drawn. Alright, for the last flower, we have stems here. We must draw these stems, but according to the previous design, we have a separate leaf. We'll come back to the stems later. It's best to sketch your design with a pencil first, then ink it if you want. I feel like adding another leaf here, coming out from under this one. It'll make it look more natural. I have this small leaf here in the form you're seeing now. I taught this in the first session using the leaf form from this. The rest is really just practice. You need to draw the flower shapes correctly, maintain proportions, and keep your lines straight. This applies to the flower itself.